Hi, I'm Diana Rankin, and today we're going to talk about how to use a pendulum to help us receive answers from our deeper intuition. Even as a psychic medium, I still use a pendulum to find some of my own answers. It's not always easy to get the best answers, so we'll take all the help we can get, won't we? When we're looking at our own intuition and we're trying to get our own answers, sometimes it helps to have a tool such as a pendulum. The reason for this is because we're pretty tied to our own answers. So we want to be able to reach deeper into our not only our intuition, but into what Carl Jung calls that collective consciousness. So let's get started. I'm going to step back from the camera so you can see how I hold the pendulum. First of all, we're going to use our thumb and our index finger to hold it. And I use a pendulum that is a crystal on the end. I'll come again a little bit closer so you can see it. This was actually a gift to me many years ago from my teacher way back when. And it has a lot of my energy in it because I've been using it, but I do let others use my pendulum. Not everyone will let you use their pendulum. But the first thing we're going to do is cleanse the energy. But before that, I want to tell you a crystal works great. Other things that work will be other sacred stones, that kind of thing. Even if I were at a pinch, I could take my necklace off and use the necklace I'm wearing as a pendulum. And pendulums have been around as tools of divining for ancients. Since the ancient times, the Egyptians used them. There's reference in ancient Greece writings to pendulums. So it's a great tool to use if used properly. So we're going to hold it in our right hand with our index finger and the thumb. And then we're going to take our left hand and we're just going to cleanse the energy. What this is doing is anyone else who has used it, or if it's been sitting for a while, or from the last question, we're just going to go down like this and collect the energy, and then we're going to take that energy and we're going to shake it off. We're going to give it to Mother Earth, and we're going to say, thank you, Mother Earth, for taking and cleansing this energy. So then once we have the pendulum, it's cleansed now, we want to check the pendulum with our energy. So we will say, for example, pendulum, show me yes. And you'll notice what's happening already. The pendulum, without my doing anything, it starts moving on its own. And you'll notice the pendulum is swinging. This may be hard to see on camera, but it's swinging toward me and away from me. So when we say pendulum, show me yes, the pendulum, for most people, swings back and forth like this, just like we're nodding our heads yes, and the pendulum will swing that way. Sometimes it works differently for a few people, but everybody I've seen, it's gone the back and forth route. So I'm just going to cleanse the energy again. And then I'm going to say, pendulum, show me no. And you can see this one a little bit easier. It moves back and forth. And as it moves back and forth, it's the same way as we're saying, no, no. That's kind of how I remember it in case I would forget. And then we're going to clean the energy again. Now, every once in a while, the pendulum, and I'm not sure I can make it do this, but every once in a while, it'll like circle. It'll just kind of go around in a circle. When that happens, what's happening there is either your energy is in a flux, and if that happens, just take a breath and relax. Or it could mean that your question was unclear, restate the question in a different way. Or it could be the outcome is not yet known, or at least is not yet clear. If that's the case, wait a few days or even a few hours, ask the question again. So once we've cleared the energy, we've checked what our energy shows as yes and no with the pendulum, then the next thing we're going to do is actually ask the question. It has to be a question that can be answered with yes or no. Those are our only choices. Well, the third choice, we don't like that one, do we? Because we want a definite answer of yes or no. So, for example, a lot of my clients want to know about money, or they want to know about relationships. So I'm single. Let's just say I just met this terrific man and I want to know if this is going to go anywhere. So I might, now I don't know if the pendulum will actually work for this because I haven't met him yet, but let's just say, pendulum, I have to change the question a little bit so it will work, but I have a really great guy in mind. Is he someone I should get to know better? And in this particular case, the pendulum is giving me an answer, and in this case it is saying yes. So in order for that, thank you pendulum, in order for that to happen, thank you Mother Earth, I had to actually think of someone, and I did. Isn't that amazing? Now, what I also suggest is you ask that same question in at least 2 or 3 different ways, not necessarily many, but at least 2 or 3 different ways to make sure that you're getting the correct answer. So I might say, pendulum, is this to be a romantic relationship with the man I'm thinking of? And I'm watching the pendulum, and it's saying yes. Look at that. Oh boy, I'm getting excited. I'm going to cleanse the energy again. And then I would ask it perhaps a third way. And I might ask the same question, but in an opposite way. For example, I might say, pendulum, is this man I'm thinking of, is this just supposed to be a friendship? You see what I'm doing there? I might confuse the pendulum here because I'm continuing to talk instead of thinking about my question. I asked, is it romantic? And the pendulum gave me a yes. So now if it gives me a no, it's because my question is, should it just be a friendship? So let's give the pendulum a moment to answer. Should this just be a friendship with this man I'm thinking of? And the pendulum is saying no. So that tells me, whoa, look at that. It's not just a friendship. Okay, we're going to cleanse the energy again. You see what we've done? We've asked the same question in different ways. We've asked it to get a positive answer, an answer that we know will come to, that we'll be able to really work with and that we can trust. The other thing I want you to do with your pendulum is I want you to take very good care of it. So you might, this is where I keep mine, it's a little velvet bag. So you'll want to do that, or it's where I also keep it often on my altar. Sometimes I carry it with me. But again, I just want to go over the steps very clearly. Clean the energy. Make sure you're asking a yes or a no question. Make sure you clean the energy between each question. Make sure that your energy is either showing which way is yes and which way is no. Ask the question in more than one way. The same question, but it's always ask it three, maybe even 4 different times, rewording the question each time. The last thing I want to leave with you is if the pendulum doesn't work for you, and occasionally it doesn't work for someone, especially if you've never worked with a pendulum, what I want you to do is just kind of maybe walk away and relax and then come back. Don't give up. Try it again. And it may take a few minutes. So let me ask this question. Pendulum, is this video helpful for the viewer? And it's going to take a minute for the pendulum to answer, and then you see what it does. It's starting to say yes. As you notice, my hand has not moved. The pendulum is answering the question. I sure hope the pendulum's right by helping you with the pendulum in this video. You too, once it starts moving in your direction, you're going to say, oh, I didn't touch it. It moved all on its own. It's going to feel great to be able to do that. It feels very magical. And remember, what's happening is you're getting the message from your deeper self and also from that collective consciousness that knows so much more than we individuals do. Thank you for being with me. This is Diana Rankin, a psychic medium, here to help you develop your intuition in order that your life grows even better. Thanks for being with me.